Hi, friends. I'm Laura Templeton, founder and chief instigator at 30 Second Success. And this is the 30 Second Success podcast where we ditch the pitch and start connecting with clarity, confidence, and compassion. Today, we're talking about how to go from overlooked to unforgettable. But first, if you are ready to fully step into your voice and communicate what you know you've been called to do, the Brand Success Hub gives you the clarity, support, and direction to do that without overcomplicating the process. Head to 30secondsuccess.com/hub to learn more. So today we're talking about visibility and not the fake kind, not the post more, hustle harder, be louder, dance faster kind. We're talking about the kind of visibility that actually matters, the kind that helps the right people remember you, the kind that makes your message stick, the kind that moves you from being overlooked to unforgettable. Because let's be honest, there are a whole lot of talented people doing good work who are still getting passed over. And because it's not because they're unqualified, but because their message isn't landing clearly enough to be remembered. So today, let's talk about what makes a brand message memorable, why visibility isn't just about showing up, and how to become the person people think of, talk about, and refer. Let's jump in and talk about why good people still get overlooked. Being good at what you do is not always enough to be remembered. I know that's annoying, right? It should be enough, but it often isn't. A lot of smart, capable, experienced people get overlooked for various reasons. They get overlooked because either their message is too vague, trying to say too much, they sound like everyone else in their industry, haven't clearly named the problem they solve, or they've made their audience work too hard to understand them. And when people have to work hard to understand you, they usually don't. They don't make the effort. Visibility is not about being seen, it's about being understood quickly enough to be remembered. Let me say that again. Visibility is not about being seen, it's about being understood quickly enough to be remembered. That's the difference. You can be present online, you can attend events, you can post content and still not be memorable if your message doesn't create a clear impression. So, if you've ever felt overlooked, it doesn't automatically mean you need more exposure. Sometimes you need a message that leaves a strong imprint. Visibility versus memorability. This is the one, it's the biggest distinction people miss out on. Visibility versus memorability. Visibility is being noticed. Memorability is being remembered. You can get attention and still be forgettable. You can go viral and still be clear, yet still not be clear, right? You can go viral and still not be clear. You can be in all the rooms and still not be the person people think of when an opportunity comes up. That's why messaging matters so much. Memorable messaging usually has three qualities. Number one, it's clear. People can quickly understand you. They can understand who you help, what you help them do, and why it matters. Number two, it's specific. It doesn't hide behind generic phrases. Like, I help people thrive. I empower transformation. I support success. Lovely sentiments, but zero grip. It doesn't grab their attention, right? When it lands flat. And number three, it's emotionally resonant. It names a frustration, a desire, or a hope in a way that makes people feel, yes, that's exactly it, right? If your message is clear but flat, people may understand you. But if it's clear and resonant, they'll remember you. That's what unforgettable streams. So here's a quick reminder. If you're enjoying this episode, please take a moment to like, follow, or subscribe to the podcast. So your support helps us reach more people with stories and strategies that inspire real connection. Make sure you click that button today. So here's 3 reasons your message may not be sticking. So let's make it practical, right? If your message isn't getting traction, here are 3 common reasons. Number 1, you're over-explaining. Sometimes in an effort to sound thorough, people end up muddying the message. They add too many details, they use too many titles, they use industry specific jargon, or they use too many modifiers. Instead of helping, it creates clutter. Clear beats complicated every time. Number 2, you're leading with what you do, not what it means to them. People don't just want a list of services. They want to understand the impact. For example, instead of, and here's something that for me, right? I provide messaging, strategy, brand support, and communication consulting. The alternative to that would be I even struggle saying that because it doesn't make sense to me because I know it's like not the right words to use. So I'm having a hard time saying that for you. So I provide messaging strategy, brand support, and communications consulting. Yes, those are things that I do, but it doesn't, like, to the average person, it's not gonna hit home. You have to connect on the emotional level. I help business owners find the words that make people understand, trust, and remember them. That's key. That's the emotional connection. It's one list, right? And the other one lands. That's the difference between those 2 examples, right? One creates a list of the things I do. The other one actually lands with the emotional connection. Number 3, you haven't owned your distinctive voice yet, right? This one matters. If your message sounds like something copied from an industry jargon, it won't stick. But when your message sounds like you, clear, grounded, specific, and human, that's when people start associating your voice with your value. People remember messages that sound like a real person with something real to say. Yes, please, more of that, right? Thank you. People remember messages that sound like a real person with something real to say. Let them see you, let them hear you, let them feel the emotion behind the work that you do. How do you love on your audience? Let it come through in your message, right? So how to become more memorable this week? Let's keep this simple. Here are 3 shifts you can make right away. Shift number 1, tighten your core message. Ask yourself, could a stranger repeat what I do after hearing it once? Would they know who to refer to me? Or am I making them decode too much? If not, tighten it up, right? If the answer is to these doesn't feel right, tighten it up, right? Shift number 2, say the same core thing more consistently. A lot of people become invisible by constantly reinventing their message. One of the things I tell clients, people are like, do I have to memorize my message? Yes. Okay. Favor, memorize your message until it is ingrained into who you are and you can repeat it, without somebody even being prompting you. Like it becomes your core, then you can play with it. Until then, you want to be saying the same thing for 2 reasons. Number 1, it becomes ingrained in your message. It becomes who you are. So when you are caught off guard, you remember it. It comes right back to you. Number 2, it becomes repeatable for the audience that hears it every single time you say it, right? You want to make sure that your audience, the people you're hanging out with, can repeat it. So why not say it over and over again so it kind of gets stuck in their brain? They don't even realize you're programming them. They say one thing. Here's one of the things that confuses a lot of audiences that, a lot of people become invisible because they constantly reinvent their message. They say one thing on LinkedIn, another thing on the website, a third thing in conversation. That inconsistency makes it harder for people to remember you and what you stand for. You do not need more random creativity. You need more repeated clarity, right? Repeatable clarity wins every time. Shift number 3, focus on one memorable phrase or idea. Think about the phrase people associate with you. For me, This is where things land, right? Here are some of the things that are repeatable for me. My audience get it. Pitch the pitch, you hear it over and over. It's part of the title of my first book, 30 Second Success. 30 Second Success, ditch the pitch and start connecting. Can walk into a room of people who know me, and all I will hear is ditch the pitch, ditch the pitch, ditch the pitch. They may not remember my name, but they're going to remember my tagline. The ditch the pitch piece of my business really made an impact on my audience and still does to this day. Right? Stand in your brand. Another title from a book, but it's also a verbiage I use in my signature. I use it in different, content when I'm writing. Clarity, confidence, and compassion. This is what I'm known for, helping people bring clarity, confidence, and compassion to their writing. They work so well because it's repeatable, it's memorable. They are simple, distinct, and repeatable. That's not accidental. That's smart messaging. Memorability grows when your message has language people can hold on to and repeat. That's when people start saying, oh, you need to talk to Laura. She's the one who helps people get clear on what to say. It's the goal, right? That's what we want people to do. The role of confidence and visibility matters, right? We don't want to skip this part. Visibility is not only about your messaging issue, it's also a confidence issue. Because sometimes your message looks pretty good, it's pretty solid, but you keep softening it, you water it down, or you hide behind some vague language because being clearly known feels very vulnerable, right? It's just like you're putting yourself out there. Being unforgettable means being willing to be specific, to claim what you do. Don't let people associate with you with something. And yes, that can feel exposed. But clarity is what gives people something to remember. You cannot become unforgettable while staying completely undefined. That's the trade-off. The more clearly you show up, the easier it is to become the right person that people want to find, want to remember, and want to recommend. Be that person. Be the person that people want to recommend. So if you've been feeling overlooked lately, here's what I want you to remember. You do not need to become louder to become more visible. You need to become clearer. You do not need to try to appeal to everyone. You need to become more memorable to the right people. And you do not need to chase attention just for the sake of being seen. You need a message that makes people understand you, trust you, and remember you, and refer you. If you're ready to strengthen your visibility through clearer messaging, stronger brand language, and more consistent communication, that's exactly the kind of work we do in the Brand Success Hub. It's for business owners and professionals who want to communicate in a way that feels aligned, human, and memorable without all the noise and gimmicks. Learn more at 30secondsuccess.com/hub, because visibility is one thing, but being unforgettable, that's where the real opportunity is. I'm Laura Templeton. Thank you so much for joining me on the 30 Second Success podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss next week's inspiring conversation. And until then, stand in your brand, trust your voice, and remember, success is just 30 seconds away.